Hey, it's Rich from Planet PE, and today's video is going to be all looking at training and particularly the different training seasons that we have. So not all performers train 12 months a year. We kind of periodise it so that we're going to train in different ways depending on how close we are to our competitive season. So all about training today, and if you are new, as always, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. Let's see if this can be the video that finally hits 3,500 subscribers, because we're not far away at all. So if you are new to the channel, I'm on Instagram, I'm on Twitter, it's planet_PE, as you'll see things flying around in a sec. But let's get moving and get on to looking at these different training seasons. So what I'm going to do is go through it like I would teach it. I'm going to stick the PowerPoint that we're going to be using on a little link underneath. So if you want to get hold of that, just click the link, it'll be on a Google Drive. And I'm in Adidas today, so let's see if they get a bit more love than Under Armour do, but you know, just keep pushing them. They might come eventually. So let's get moving, looking at these seasons. So what we want to look at is the PowerPoint, and again, I'll try and help us out as much as we can by going through it all. So if we just get it up on the screen, and I edit this video. Here we go. So looking at training seasons and optimizing our training. So what we're going to go through looking at in a second are the different training seasons. Going to look at how we can try and understand how a performer is going to use those, and then try to see throughout the year and throughout the season how that might differ, and then more importantly explain the reasons why we do it the way we do it. So let's get onto this PowerPoint. So what are the three training seasons? So we have pre-season, we have the competitive or the playing season, and then we have the post-season. So you may hear lots and lots of footballers talking about how much of a nightmare pre-season is, how difficult that is. You might hear players talking about how difficult they find the competitive season because they're always playing, or they've not got time necessarily to work on things. And then the post-season, maybe we only hear about them in the papers when they've done things like gone on a holiday and it's maybe not gone the way that we wanted it. So what we've got on here then is loads of information, again using dual coding, trying to present the information in a way that's going to make sense. So where we start, we've got pre-season, which is our preparation season. This is where we're trying to get ourselves ready for the competitive season. So pre-season should be really, really tough because you are trying to get yourself as fit as possible by improving your general fitness, by improving some specific components of fitness, and also working on some skills. So if we take this idea that not all sports performers compete all year round. So the football season lasts from about September to around about May. So that means before that, we've got this pre-season where we're getting ourselves ready, we're getting ourselves prepared, we're improving our cardiovascular fitness, we're improving our strength, all those things that you'd need as a footballer. So with our general fitness then, we were going to lose some levels of fitness because of reversibility from that point where we're not playing anymore. So pre-season is about making sure that we're ready, we're prepared for what we're going to do. So we might do things like fart rate training, we might do things like continuous training to make sure that we are ready for the activity that we're going to do. We're ready for our football season. We also need to go and develop some of the skills that maybe we've not done for a while. We might also work on some things that might help us in this season to actually be the best player we can be. So the question I asked my tutor, my PE group, was explain how a games performer may utilise pre-season to improve their performance during their competitive season. So the pre-season is basically giving us a level of fitness. It's giving us like a baseline that we're going to work on. Because actually in the season itself, it's very difficult to improve our levels of fitness. So the pre-season is really, really important about setting how fit you're going to be for your competitive season. So that leads us on to our playing season, or our competitive season, or competition. It's also known as peak season. So this is where we're trying to get to our very, very peak and stay there, not necessarily trying to improve. So the competitive season is when the matches or the competition starts to take place. For instance, in the football season, this is August to May. So as a footballer, I'm going to be playing maybe twice a week, potentially 3 days a week. I might be away on international duty. There's lots and lots of things that might be going on that mean I can't really go and work as hard as I can on my fitness. Whereas in pre-season, all I was focused on getting as strong as I can, being able to run as far as I can. I'm going to be sore, I'm going to be recovering a lot, but all I'm working on is that because I don't have to worry about playing the games. In the peak season, I'm going to be playing games all the time, so therefore actually working on those fitness, improving my fitness is going to be tough. So we say here that all we're trying to do is maintain the fitness. So the gains that we got in pre-season, we're just trying to keep, we're not trying to then go any further than that. So what's important with that is that we want to avoid overtraining. So we're going to be playing a lot, we're going to be in our season, so we want to make sure that we don't experience fatigue. So really in the season there's a lot of recovery, there's a lot of maintenance, but really not very much kind of progressive overload. We're just staying at the same level and hoping that that fitness that we gained in pre-season remains with us. We're still going to work on our skills. We're still going to continue to work on those because that's not particularly fatiguing. If I'm trying to work on my weaker foot in football and I'm trying to work on my movement and my passing skills, that's not the sort of thing that I'm going to be exhausted about or going to have a lot of DOMS or delayed onset of muscle soreness, which would affect me playing in my game. So maintenance, avoiding overtraining, and the skills. So as you see in the box here at the bottom left, we've got the performer needs to be at their peak levels of skill and fitness during the competitive season. Everything that I'm doing in pre-season is making sure that in my peak season, I'm at my very, very best. So that's why we've got to try and make sure that the pre-season is where all the hard work happens. And then in the season, we're trying to maintain that and maybe working on our skills a lot more and also making sure that we just stay in the peak physical fitness that we've got ourselves into. So the question that I asked my group here was to explain how performers will train differently in the peak season compared with the pre-season. So we talked in this one about things like intensity. The intensity is going to be way, way higher during the pre-season than it will be during the peak season, because I'm going to experience lots of DOMS, I'm going to experience muscle soreness, I'm going to experience a time where my muscles are going to be feeling like they're on fire essentially, because we're going to be experiencing that growth of the muscles, the increased cardiovascular fitness, all those things that are going to take time for your body to adapt. In the season, I'm going to train at a lower intensity because I just want to try and maintain the fitness that I've got and also not overtrain. We then got the next season, which is our post-season. So the post-season is we've played our football, we've played our football tournament potentially, we've played our football competition, we've played our season, and it's now that point after. And this is where we call the transition season. So I'm transitioning from being really competitive and I'm coming out of that season. So in this one, we've got to think about the season's finished and it's all about rest and recovery. So you may have been carrying around an injury, you may have been carrying around some fatigue, some mental fatigue, some physical fatigue, and your body and your mind need time to recover. So that relaxation where people go on a holiday, for you guys think about your summer holidays, that is really, really important for people to make sure they get over that season so they're ready for the next pre-season. So we're looking here at rest and recovery so that we're going to be recovering from the season itself, but you still got to do a little bit of light work. So here we're talking about some light aerobic work, so maybe going for a run, a swim, a cycle, just to keep yourself ready so that when you go into pre-season, that it's not just starting from scratch, because we don't want to experience that that massive reversibility and therefore get less fit. So what we're saying here then is once the season's over, the body's got to recover so that we can then be ready for the next pre-season and then the next competitive season. So quite simply, that is really it. So we've got our pre-season, which is all about trying to make sure that we're prepared. We've got our peak season or playing season where we're trying to get to the very best we can because we want to make sure that we're peaking, we're at our top skill and fitness levels for the season. And then we've got the post-season where it's all about recovering and making sure that we're then ready for that next pre-season that's going to come up so that we're going to be our very, very best for the competitive season. So if you liked what we've done here, guys, then what you want to do is make sure that you subscribe, you like the video, and check me out on Instagram and Twitter. And let's see if we can get ourselves to 3,500 subscribers before the end of half term. So thank you very much, and I will see you very, very soon.